If you really want to understand the story of the Penny Princess, you have to know the events that led up to the three major happenings. One, how Tony Craig came to be sneaking through the lobby of the St. Maurice Hotel in his pajamas, in broad daylight. Two, why the French Senate and the Italian Forum and the Swiss Federal Palace were hastily recalled from their summer recess. And three, why Miss Lindy Smith from New York City decided to lead an invasion on all three countries. First of all, take a look at this map of Europe. It was printed yesterday, so of course it's already out of date. But one place has remained the same for the last 1100 years, the smallest country in the world, Lampedora. It doesn't look much on the map, but it's well worth a visit. Next time you pass Mont Blanc, take the second turning on the right, and you can't miss it. This is where 2,000 Lampedorans have lived in peace since the days of the Crusades, with no taxes, no quotas, no tariffs, no forms to fill in, which was why Lampedora was happy and bankrupt. This is the town hall. From here, the country is ruled by a council of three, and everyone knows on which day the council is doing a bit of ruling, because the cobbler is closed, and the blacksmith is closed, and you can't get into prison even if you want to. You see, the blacksmith, the cobbler, and the policeman are the Minister of Finance, the Lord High Chancellor, and the Burgomaster, respectively. This meeting is one of the most historic in Lampedora's history. Finance has run out. It seems that up to now, the Exchequer has always made a little money for the country by borrowing from Peter to pay Paul, and then not paying Paul. Of course, eventually there comes a day when Paul wants to know. This is the day, and this is Monsieur Paul.
Representing, as I do, the International Mutual Collection Society, I have to insist on the payment of 975,000 Italian liras for uniforms and provisions, 800,000 French francs for wines and tobaccos, and 7,200 Swiss francs for chocolate, chewing gum, and a new council hall clock.
Citizens of Lampedora, as your Minister of Finance, it falls to me to tell you we cannot pay this amount, even if we print a new issue of centennial stamps. I call upon the Chancellor.
There is one ray of hope, sad though it may be. Yesterday we received an offer from the Armenian Syndicate, who wish to buy this beloved country of ours and turn this place into a gambling hell. A gambling hall. I call upon the Burgomaster.
If I may interrupt, Mr. Chancellor.
All claims for money must go through the Minister of Finance.
Well, representing as I do an American citizen, Mr. Johnson K. Johnson II, I'm asked to say that such is his regard for Lampedora, its quaintness, its charm, and its tradition, that he is prepared to buy your country and have it moved to America.
Have Lampedora moved to America?
To what end?
So that other Americans may enjoy it as Mr. Johnson K. Johnson II has enjoyed it.
But surely it would be easier to bring Americans to the mountains rather than take the mountains to the Americans.
Well, Mr. Johnson K. Johnson II agrees. His offer still holds, and he will leave Lampedora where it is.
How much is the offer?
$100,000.
Sold.
And that's how Lampedora became the 49th state of America. No wonder the crowd cheered. For the first time in history, they had a Grand Duke Johnson I. It was a great day for the Lampedorans. Long live the Grand Duke, they shouted. May he reign and reign and reign. But before the business of reigning could begin, he had to sign and sign and sign, and drink and drink and drink, and at 18 hours double Lampedoran summertime, Grand Duke Johnson I passed peacefully on. I only hope we're looking in the right direction. New York, the town where anyone can find everything. but nobody could find the Grand Duke's will. Somewhere among its teeming millions was Johnson K. Johnson's heir. But out of hundreds of relations, the next of kin turned out to be the daughter of the third brother of a sister-in-law of a twice-removed cousin. Only as yet she didn't know it.
I wonder how many of you have started peeling a potato this size and finished up with one like this. Well, your troubles are over. Macy's new scientific potato peeler does everything you ever want to do to a potato. It cleans as it peels, as it slices. Now, before you all rush for your peelers, I'd like to show you just a few of the 15 reasons why you should have one of these scientific miracles. I wonder how many of you knew that a potato is almost 3/4 water. None of you? Me neither. Now, the proteins of a potato are in the layer next to the skin and can all be wasted by deep paring. This can never happen with Macy's scientific potato peeler. That is reason number 1. The slicer incorporated in the handle is guaranteed not to split up the starch cells. That is reason number 2.
Miss Smith.
Oh, are you interested in Macy's new scientific potato peeler?
No. I'm the service manager.
Oh.
You are Miss Smith.
Yes, sir.
You're wanted in the administration office. They've been trying to get you on the phone.
Oh, dear, I've tried. Really, I have. I sold 4 yesterday. I know 1 came back today, but that wasn't my fault. The lady tried to slice salami with it.
I should get up there right away if I were you.
Yes, sir.
Miss Smith?
Yes, sir.
Come in, won't you? Take a seat, Miss Smith.
Please, sir.
Take a seat.
Before you say anything, I'd like to say that the stall is in a very bad position.
Miss Smith.
It's right opposite the free cookie counter, and while people can get free cookies, they don't want to buy potato peelers.
Miss Smith, I haven't called you up here to reprimand you. I've got some good news for you.
You mean you're going to move the cookie counter?
Better than that, I'm going to give you time off to go and see your lawyers.
My lawyers?
Here's the address. They'd like to see you there as soon as possible.
Oh, but I think you've got the wrong Smith. There's another one in utensils.
Smith they want to see is Lindy Smith, and that's where she's got to go right away.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, well, we haven't as yet been able to list all the securities, but there are several thousand shares of Anaconda Copper,
General Motors and GEC.
and Bulawayo Tin and Potomac Steel.
No doubt you'll wish to consult your broker about them.
Are you sure you've got the right Smith? I didn't even know Mr. Johnson.
You're related through a second cousin. The question now arises, what do you wish to do about Lampadora?
Is that the cousin?
Lampadora is a piece of Europe Mr. Johnson bought just before he died.
Look, this is all very nice of you, but I really don't think I care
Miss
for
Smith,
any of this.
now, please. You have lawfully inherited the Johnson estate. What you do with it after you have it is your affair, but our affair is to see that you get it.
But what would I do with a piece of Europe?
Well, I admit it is rather an unusual situation, but as next of kin, you take over the responsibility of the 2,000 inhabitants.
What does that mean?
It means that they look to you for guidance.
They do? Oh, but that's awful.
We suggest the best course is to go to Lampadora and tell the local council to carry on with the government of the country.
Couldn't we just give it back to them?
Not until it's paid for. And it can't be paid for until probate is granted on the will.
Which won't be for several months. You could perhaps explain that to them when you get there.
But I don't understand. How can I be responsible
Now,
for...
Miss Smith. Now, you just leave all the arrangements to us. And congratulations. Do you know, you're a very lucky girl.
You've absolutely nothing in the world to worry about.
Not even in Europe?
Oh, I'm sure you'll find Lampadora a charming place.
I suppose we ought to start calling you Your Majesty.
Yes, sir.
Oh, that's very good.
And you better let them know I'm not a member of UNO.
Yeah.
Poor Lindy. She still didn't know what had hit her. And while her plane is ploughing on towards Europe, you've time to get to know how Tony Craig came into the story of the Penny Princess. He got his first real job in Simpson and Hedges in Piccadilly. It wasn't much of a job, but it was a start. And as soon as he started, the war started and he finished. Still, they promised his job would be waiting for him when he came back. And when he came back, they kept their word.
In the 40-odd years I've been with this firm, we've had sales go up and we've had sales go down. But never before has there been a time when provisions, furniture, menswear went up and negligees, ladies' gowns and cosmetic went down at the same time. Naturally, I asked the floor managers why, and they all give me the same reply. The delivery boy.
I'm extremely sorry, sir. I've tried to do the job the best I can.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm only saying something's wrong. Look at this. Negligee department dropped 14% since April. Gowns, April down 15.5%. Cosmetic department going along fine till April, then boom. When did you come here?
April, sir.
Well, there you are. It seems you disturbed the female staff.
I assure you, sir, I have never...
No, but it's only a question of time. But don't keep standing there. You make me nervous. Sit down, will you?
Thank you, sir.
Take care. You know, the whole thing is ridiculous. I mean, a man of your age and pushing a... Who gave you this darn silly job?
The staff manager, sir. You see, it was my old job before I joined up, and there weren't any others when I came back.
Yes, I know all that. Greaves.
Yes, Mr. Selby?
Come in here, please. And what else can you do? What's your background?
Well, sir, I was at Harrow, and then at university, King's College, Cambridge. And when I came down, I applied for an interview for a job and told them my qualifications.
And what happened?
They made me a delivery boy.
Yes, of course. Come in.
Yes, Mr. Selby? Oh.
Exactly. Oh, now look here, Greaves. There's no use saying there isn't another job for him.
But there isn't, sir. I didn't want to give him the trolley job, but he insisted, didn't you?
Oh, gentlemen, I don't want to be the cause of any embarrassment. I'll just offer my resignation.
Don't talk nonsense. We can't have a delivery boy resigning. We'd be the laughing stock of the whole trade. If Simpson and Hedges make a promise, they keep a promise.
You, wouldn't entertain the Swiss cheese vacancy, I suppose?
Swiss cheese vacancy? Why not? Do you know anything about cheese?
Cheese? Well...
Good. Now, look here. I give you a month to put Simpson and Hedges' cheese sales up.
Thank you very much, sir. I'm sure a day or two in the department I shall learn all there is to learn.
No, you won't be in the department. You'll be in Switzerland.
Switzerland?
That's right. Find out the date of the hotelier sales conviction and make sure he's at it.
Yes, Mr. Selby.
But surely there's plenty of cheese in Switzerland already.
I know it'll be your duty to sell them more. Of course, if you feel that you can't handle it...
I can handle it. It's just that, well, cheese to Switzerland.
Mr. Greaves will fix everything up for you. Good luck.
Good luck. Oh, thank you.
So now you know the two contestants. Flying from right to left, the man with a load of cheddar. Coming in from left to right, Miss Lindy Smith, the girl with a heap of worries. So from here on, you're on your own.
Good day, monsieur.
Good day. My name is Craig. I believe you have a reservation for me.
Ah, if only everyone were as wise as you and made reservations. Yes, here, room 92. Traveling can be so pleasant. You just fill in this form, name, nationality, passport number, where you spent last night and the night before, the date of your birth and the date of your father's birth.
I shall have to cable Mother about that.
Oh, a guess will do, so long as the space is filled.
Look, could I do this later? I should have been at the hoteliers' convention half an hour ago.
But certainly. Monsieur Craig's luggage to 92. Monsieur Craig to the convention. Which section, sir? Office equipment, bedroom equipment, kitchen equipment?
Cheese.
Oh, yes, cheese. You will find it listed on the board, monsieur.
Thank you. I'm terribly sorry. Oh, I was trying to see the board. Thank you. Oh, sorry. My sample. you by any chance cheese, butter, and fats?
No, just plain flesh and blood.
Oh, I didn't mean that. Oh, thank you. Hello. Do forgive me. I hope you'll allow me to explain about upstairs. I wasn't just trying to be funny.
I don't remember laughing.
I wouldn't like you to think I was being fresh.
It's of no consequence.
See, I was on my way to the convention room, and I thought you might be too.
Look, if I'm on my way to the convention room, I don't go telling strange men.
No, of course you don't. But when I said, are you cheese, butter, or fats, I meant, well, the fact of it is I travel in cheese.
The way you choose to travel is your own affair. I suggest we drop the whole subject and go on about our business.
Well, may I buy you a drink as a peace offering?
Thank you, no.
My father always says that Americans are the friendliest people on earth. Please don't make him a liar.
I'm drinking pineapple juice.
Very healthy. Double pineapple juice twice.
But I want you to understand this drink is only on account of your father.
I understand perfectly. But shall we take these to a table?
Oh, no, I don't think so. It's quite comfortable here. Also, I'm waiting for someone.
Oh. Well, you could wait for them at a table. Anyway, it's very bad to drink pineapple juice in the shade. It tastes much better in the sun. It's, nature to nature.
It is?
Table.
Well, all right. I want to make it quite clear that I'm having this drink without prejudice.
Fine. My name's Tony Craig.
How do you do, Mr. Craig?
What's your name? Oh, now, wait a minute. There can't be now my knowing your name.
Oh, yes, there can. Then you want to know my phone number, then you want to know my address, and before you know it, you're a pest.
Now, look, I assure you that...
I'm not going to tell you my name. Paging Miss Lindy Smith? Yeah, that's me. What's so funny?
There are 3 gentlemen in the lounge.
3? Oh. Look, I don't want you to misunderstand what I'm going to say.
I've been successful for the last 15 minutes.
Well, you see, I'm about to meet 3 people I've never met before. And they're not just ordinary people, they're... Well, if you wouldn't mind being with me just till I've met them, then you can go.
This sounds most exciting.
But this doesn't change anything I've said.
Miss Smith, I always do all my escorting entirely without prejudice.
You are Lindy Smith?
Yes, sir.
Your
obedient
subjects.
Won't you sit down?
After you, please.
Oh, thank you.
And this is Mr. Lindy Smith?
Oh, for heaven's sake, no.
You might have said it with a little less force.
I'm sorry, I forgot all about you.
My name is Tony Craig. I travel in cheese.
You've been very kind. Thanks a lot.
You mean I can't hear the end of the story?
I think I can handle it now.
Well, I do hope you'll let us meet again soon. Also.
As Lord High Chancellor of Lampedora, it is my entrusted honor to bring you greetings from 2,000 true and solid citizens. To you, they pledge their lives, their country, and their destinies.
Oh, but they mustn't.
As Burgomaster, it is my privilege to present you with the freedom of Lampedora. It opens the church, Parliament House, the town hall, the banqueting room, and the jail.
It does?
They are the same building.
As Minister of Finance, I can only pledge you my loyalty. Everything else has been pledged already.
This is all very sweet of you, gentlemen, but I just came over here to accept my abdication.
Abdication?
Such a thing is not even to be joked about.
2,000 true and solid citizens look to you as their head of state.
You are their dollar princess.
Oh, but I'm not. I work for a living. I'm not even a penny princess.
You cannot disappoint 2,000 true and solid citizens.
The car is outside awaiting your convenience.
Right now? Oh, but you'll have to wait while I pack it. And then I'll have to settle my bill.
Leave that to me, Princess. Settling a bill will be quite a nostalgic pleasure.
Thanks, that would save a little time.
No, how much do you expect the bill to be?
It's just for the room, number 63. It'll be 5,000 francs.
5,000?
Sounds a lot, I know, but the manager said he was in season or something.
Oh, of course, 5,000 is nothing at all. Unfortunately, I made today a bank holiday.
Oh, for heaven's sake, you want some money. You'll have to give them a $20 bill. Do you think they'll accept dollars?
Allow me to be insulted if they refuse.
Thank you. I'll be as quick as I can.
Look at that beautiful thing. It's worth $20.
It's worth more than $20. It's genuine.
You're not going away.
Oh, hello.
Oh, please, I was going to ask you to have dinner with me tonight.
That's very nice of you. I'd love to dine with you, but, well, from now on, I'm eating with these gentlemen.
And very nice, too. They're dear little men, but you can't eat with them for the rest of your life.
I don't intend to stay in Lampedour for the rest of my life. My luggage is all down. Shall we go?
Your
obedient
subjects.
Lampedour? But you don't seriously mean that you're going to Lampedour in preference to here?
I'll be out in a minute. Now.
But they're turning it into a gambling center.
Mr. Craig, I've enjoyed meeting you, and I've enjoyed talking to you. Now, I'd like to enjoy saying goodbye to you.
I'm sorry, it's none of my business, of course. Goodbye. I was only trying to advise you as a friend. It's nothing but a dead and alive hell run by a bunch of cutthroat smugglers.
That is a most insulting remark. You may not know it, but you happen to be talking to... If I didn't believe in democracy, I could probably have you beheaded.
Oh, no, not this one. That one.
Where did you get a car like this?
It's one that got lost in transit.
Should I understand that?
Well, this was an import that came in for export but happened to remain an import.
Honest, these politics.
Julian is getting better.
Do they understand English?
They understand the language, if not the people.
Hello. I don't know what you expect me to say, but I'm pretty sure I'm not going to say it. I'm simply here because one of my father's cousins was removed from an uncle. And somebody laid out a whole heap of dollars when you were in trouble. Well, they tell me those dollars bought Lampadora for me. I'd like you to feel that all they did was to buy me for Lampadora.
You are now standing in the shrine of Lampidoran national consciousness.
The council chambers to your right, the stables to your left, the jail is in the basement, and the royal chalet is on the second floor.
Well, what do you know?
When you've taken these things upstairs, you'll turn the car around. You'll take Alberto and the men and return to the Hotel San Maurice. There you will pick up a man named Craig. He will not like being picked up, but you will pick him up anyway, for sedition.
The royal bedchamber. We haven't used this room since the 14th century.
Well, it certainly doesn't look it. Good afternoon.
This is Maria. She is to be your woman of the bedchamber.
Pleased to know you.
Why are those sacks still up here?
You put my poor sons into uniform. You can't expect them to be soldiers and removers at the same time.
Really, I don't mind. Leave them there, whatever they are.
They're potatoes.
Oh, that's fine. I feel kind of at home with potatoes.
We've called Parliament for 8:30 tomorrow morning, so until then you have no official duties, except, of course, the banquet.
Maria will show you where everything is, and everything else is down the passage.
Thank you.
You will forgive the potatoes?
Why, of course.
You're very gracious.
Just imagine any place being this old.
1372 was the last time we had royal blood in this room.
Oh, but I'm not royal blood.
You are the new princess.
I'm not a princess. I'm a French-Irish-American, and a real one, too. I'm part Navajo Indian.
Navajo Indian with blonde hair.
Sure. My great-grandpa was a pioneer. You think I'm kidding? I'll sing you a Navajo song. Saneslakai katokatega, katokatega, katokatega. Saneslakai katokatega, lina kaida. Now, do you believe me?
You're an Indian princess.
Now, really, come on and sit down.
I am not allowed to sit.
Not allowed to sit? What kind of talk is that? Listen, Maria. May I call you Maria?
I must not sit while you are standing.
So I'll sit, too. Now, look. If you and I are going to be friends, we got to get this straight right now. I'm not a princess. I'm Lindy Smith. And I'd like you to call me Lindy.
I would be shot.
Shot? Well, if they shoot you, I'll order a massacre. Remember me? I'm an Indian. Saneslakai, katokatega, katokatega, katokatega. Saneslakai, katokatega, la.
Well, good evening, gentlemen. May I ask what you're doing here?
Are you Mr. Craig?
Yes, I am, but you have the advantage over me.
Yeah, I know. It's a great pity.
Well, I'm afraid you've come to the wrong room. I'm the poorest guest in the hotel. Why don't you try another room? Now, look, I'm extremely busy, and I don't really have time to cope with police and things, so if you'll do me a favor, you'll unlock that door, disappear, and we'll forget the whole episode.
Unfortunately, when we go, we have to take you with us.
Take me with you? You mean you've come to... Oh, now, wait a minute. If you think anybody'd pay a ransom for me, well, you're out of your mind.
I should put a few clothes on if I were you. We have an open car and we can't get the hood up.
All right. That's the way you want it. That's the way you're going to get it. I've tried to behave very generously over the whole thing. Gentlemen, Englishmen abroad try to behave kindly and considerately. But if you think you can break in here and... Wait a minute, undo this! Help! Room 92, help!
Louis?
You know, of course, there's going to be a lot of trouble about all this.
Louis!
Oh.
Perhaps you'll give me a reason for this outrage.
Are you the man named Craig?
I am the man named Craig.
You got any papers to prove it?
I'm in pajamas. Look, I realize that people in pajamas are probably carried across frontiers nightly, but I'm stupid enough to want an explanation.
It's nothing but a dead and alive hole run by cutthroat smugglers. Oh, dear, dear, dear. That is sedition.
What are you talking about?
What you said.
You mean I've been assaulted and brought here simply because I made a remark about Lampadora?
In here.
Where's the telephone?
In the cobbler's shop.
Then take me to the cobbler's shop.
I can't. It's all locked up. He's at the banquet.
Then I demand to see the Lord High Chancellor.
Well, he is the cobbler.
Listen to me, Louis. Sooner or later, the British consul's going to hear about this. And he's going to be very, very angry. And all sorts of questions are going to be asked, and all sorts of people are going to get into serious trouble. Hey! There's going to be a lot of trouble about this. All right, lock it up.
Would you mind if I left the door open? It lets a nice breeze blow through.
Citizens of Lampadora, let us offer our humble toast to Princess Smith.
Princess Smith!
The princess feels that, appropriate as that tune is for a state banquet, this should be a more festive affair. So, a little more festive, if you please.
Aren't we lucky to see such a lovely sky? What a wonderful sight, what a beautiful night, so warm that it might be July. It's a fine, fine night. All that red in the sky is to tell you and I, tomorrow the sun will be shining on high. It's a fine, fine moon with the haziest spring, meaning each little thing is just about ready to break into spring. Good night, breezes are blowing, the grass just right to start mowing, as nature's manner of showing.
Oh, no, I couldn't really. This is the 14th course.
In Lampedora, we have a saying, when you can get it, eat it. So when you can't get it, you remember it.
Yes, but how can you afford all this?
Confidentially, we can't.
But we had to give a banquet for our new princess.
And so everyone dug down into their bottom drawer and loaned it to the state.
That's about the nicest thing I've ever heard.
Nonsense. Tomorrow you hand us the $100,000 and Lampedora will be the happiest and richest kingdom in Europe.
Oh, but I won't. I mean, I haven't... Oh, but this is awful. I haven't got it.
The grass just right.
But you don't understand. There isn't any.
Choice manner of showing
that everything's just about... It's a fine, fine night.
It's a fine, fine night.
Oh, you've had none of your breakfast.
Maria, were any of your savings in that banquet?
It was a good investment. I ate more than my savings.
I feel awful about this. Everyone thinks I brought them some money, and I haven't. There won't be any money for at least 6 months.
After 6 centuries, what's another 6 months? I'll take you to the council chamber.
Oh, no, please. I'm sure you've got lots of work to do. I know where it is. Oh, good morning. Parliament hasn't arrived yet.
We are Parliament.
You mean just we four?
Just we four.
Oh, golly whiz.
We've had a robe of state made for you. I'm afraid it may be a little big.
We cabled for your measurements, and the reply said 5'11".
Unfortunately, we found out too late. 5'11" was the time the cable was handed in.
Yes, it is a little loose.
Oh, little Tuck can put that right.
Yes, of course it can. Oh, oopsie daisy. There. Oh, sorry about that bell. We couldn't lift it. Yes. Now, what shall we tackle first?
I've sent word to the jailer to bring in the seditionary.
Very wise indeed. I think the princess should deal with other people's crimes before she deals with our accounts.
Listen, I've got to tell you something. Lampedora doesn't get a penny of Mr. Johnson's money for at least 6 months, maybe a year. The will has to be proved, and there's all sorts of papers and things to go through. I tried to tell you last night, but everyone was having such a good time, I just couldn't spoil it.
You didn't bring any money with you?
Oh, dear.
Was everything paid for last night?
Everything but the wine.
Well, then what are we worrying about? A few more months won't make us any more bankrupt, will it?
But don't you have any money?
Not since France ran short of pepper.
I beg your pardon?
We could buy pepper from France for 125 francs a pound and sell it to Italy for the equivalent of 1,300 francs a pound.
You could?
Then France ran short of pepper, so now we have to buy it from Italy at 1,300 francs to sell back to France at 125.
But that doesn't make sense. Why buy it to sell it back at a loss?
I'm afraid France insists.
Unfortunately, we still owe them for the first transaction.
Well, golly whiz, if you can't pay France 125 francs in the first place, how do you pay Italy 1,300 francs now?
We don't. That's this red bit here.
A man named Craig.
This is the seditious gentleman. We'd better get rid of him first.
Your name is Craig, and you are charged with sedition. On the steps of the St. Maurice Hotel, you did utter a seditious statement against the state and principality of Lampedora. To wit, Lampedora is a dead and alive hole run by cutthroat smugglers. Such statement was made in the presence of the princess herself. Has the prisoner anything to say?
Oh, yes. The prisoner has quite a lot to say. I must apologize for being so dense, but then I'm only a peasant. You, I take it, are the penny princess we've all been reading about.
What are you doing here?
I was stolen from my bedroom, rushed across the frontier, and Louis has read me The Prisoner of Zenda all night.
Oh, but this is awful. You made a horrible mistake.
The man is a seditionary.
Oh, fiddle-faddle, he wouldn't sit at anybody. And for heaven's sake, sit down.
We had hoped that a large fine might be a suitable sentence.
Well, it won't be. You're going to put Mr. Craig right back where you found him at once.
But we're in the middle of Parliament.
Now, look, far be it from me to interfere with anyone's foreign policy. Of course. Ah, wait.
You will? You see, that's real sweet of him.
Not at all. I'm fascinated.
I hardly think we should discuss our affairs in front of a strange man.
Well, I think you owe this strange man an apology. Besides, he might be able to help. We seem to be in a terrible mess. All we do is buy and sell pepper at a loss.
Sounds like a full-time industry.
Oh, no. We also deal in perfumes, radio parts, tires.
Silks, shoes, leather, sardines and olive oils.
And you lost on the lot?
The lot. We were the middlemen.
And the exchange fell before we could get them across the border.
You see what I mean? We just don't make any money. How do other countries work? Do I have to sit over here?
Of course not. You can sit where you like.
But don't you have any national resources?
Those are our national resources. Perfumes, radio parts, tires.
You mean you export them?
Good gracious, no. We smuggle them.
You smuggle them?
Of course. We're the most famous, fastest, finest smugglers in Europe.
We smuggle from France into Switzerland.
From Italy into France and Switzerland into Italy.
To say nothing of vice versa.
And I stand accused of sedition.
But smuggling's illegal.
Good gracious, no, not in Lampedusa. It's our national industry.
Well, from now on, you better find another one, because smuggling is out. And don't you be funny either.
Princess, I beg you not to joke about such things.
Who's joking? I will not have my country run on immoral earnings.
The word is illegal.
The whole thing's illegal. From now on, it's a crime to smuggle in or out of Lampedusa.
But how shall we live?
How shall we even tell the citizens?
It's like forbidding the English to play cricket.
Listen, I never asked to be head of the state, but you insisted. All right, if I'm head of the state, what I say goes. Smuggling is prohibited.
I don't know if we're constitutionally equipped to prohibit it.
This is Parliament, is it not? Very well, then, I pass a law. From today, the penalty for smuggling will be death or something like that.
But, Princess...
The law is passed, Parliament is adjourned. Hello, Julian. Aren't you sad, too? Is that all it takes to make you happy? Well, you're lucky. I never saw so many people get sad so quick. Me, too. I really blew my top in Parliament yesterday. I shouldn't have done it. But somebody had to do it. No wonder your finances are in such a mess. You've had 700 years of peace and quiet to cook up something real good and industrial. And what have you done? You've turned Lampedusa into a sink of contrabandancy. Oh, I'm not so smart. But I think every country should do something useful in the world, a trade or a craft. Lampedusa should be making something or other and deporting it. So that's why I blew my top. Now everybody hates me, and I just want to go hide my head in a bucket. And it's no good everyone telling me smuggling is legal in Lampadora. Smuggling? Smuggling can't be legal unless all the other countries make it legal, too. And if they make it legal, what's the use of smuggling? Am I talking peculiar? No, I like it. You want to know something? I'm floating. Did I have any of your wine? What do you know? I feel wonderful. Well, look who's here. Hello.
I beg the princess to forgive this intrusion, but we drew straws to see who should approach you. I drew the longest and lost. I mean, won.
Come on, sit down. You want to know something? I feel wonderful, and I don't know why I feel wonderful.
Perhaps the wine on an empty stomach.
No wine. I'm a toe teetler. Teetler toe. Now, what's your trouble?
Well, respectfully and humbly, I am here to beg you on behalf of the citizens to have a second thought about your proclamation. We thought perhaps if instead of smuggling, we called it free trading.
No matter which way you slice it, a principle is a principle, is a principle.
But to the Lampedorans, it has always been looked upon as a trade, an art, handed down from father to son to grandson.
I like you. You drew the longest straw and you're cute. But it's no use. You drive your little old buggy back and tell 'em I love 'em all, but it's no use. My up's made mine. Want a bite?
The Chancellor entreated... Excuse me. Well, of course, that's schneeze.
Beg your pardon?
You've been eating schneeze. You're not used to it, and it's probably gone to your head a little. It wears off very quickly. The Chancellor entreats you to debate...
And what, may I ask, is schneeze?
Hmm? Oh, it's a local cheese we make here in Lampedora.
Schneeze?
It's a mixture of Lampedoran schnapps and cheese. The Chancellor entreats you to debate whether or not Lampedora should concern itself with the laws of other countries.
Schnapps and cheese?
No, the laws of other... Oh, yeah, schnapps and cheese. The laws of other countries.
Do you mean to stand there and sit me that everyone who eats schneeze feels like this?
In different degrees. And if it is decided no to these laws, then the proclamation should have rescinded...
Schneeze!
Hmm?
That's the answer?
I'm afraid I don't quite understand.
That'll be our national industry. We'll manufacture schneeze and export it to the world.
I'm afraid I still don't quite understand.
Here's a chance for every teetotaler to have his principle and eat it.
But the whole idea, my country...
We gotta sit that parliament again. We'll make schneeze famous throughout the width and breadth of the world. Can't you just see it? On the billboards, the subways, the buses. There it is, up in fluorescent lights. Each schneeze a happy cheese. Giddy up! Whee! Just imagine, for 700 years you've been hiding this schneeze under a bushel. Right under your noses you've got something that'll make Lampadora rich and famous. Something to sell to the world, the happy cheese.
A most commendable idea, but unfortunately we don't have the facilities to market a commodity to the world.
Whereas in smuggling...
There's gonna be no whereas. Of course we need all those things, and we're gonna get them. I want you to send a car to the St. Maurice Hotel and ask Mr. Craig very nicely if he'll visit me on business.
The man named Craig?
That's right, he works in cheese, he sells it. He can solve all our problems. And tell him if he doesn't mind, the sooner the quicker. Fine, now we're cooking. Tomorrow, remind me to pass a law. Life imprisonment for anyone who gives out the recipe. I tell you, schneeze is the biggest discovery since the Nobel Prize.
After all, Mr. Selby, today is only the second day of the convention. I'm not just sitting here idly waiting for orders to come. I'm going forward. Convinced that in the Simpson and Hedges cheese promotion drive, the key word is offensive. That's not what I meant at all. Oh, now wait a minute.
Then the sheep's milk must be soured with rennet.
Sheep's milk?
Yes, that's the basis of all schnees. Mountain sheep's milk.
Well, what do you know?
But don't add any schnapps until the curd has been drained and stirred.
Drained and stirred.
With the schnapps, you add the Dora berries.
What's a Dora berry?
Wild holly berries. They grow in the mountains.
Honest, the things that go on in those mountains.
And
The man named Craig's here.
He is? Oh, well, now, isn't that nice of him? Ask him to take a seat. I'll be right out. Gee, got here awfully quick. Is my hair all right? Oh, well, too late now. And I think you better put some coffee on. I hope Mr. Craig is going to need it. Mr. Craig, this is very sweet of...
I'm not considered an unreasonable sort of person, but this game has gone too far.
You may go, Alberto. Don't you have any other clothes?
I planned on wearing these pajamas 8 hours out of the 24. I bought them to sleep in. So far, I've worn them in an open car, on a fire escape, in a jail, and for crossing and recrossing the Swiss frontier 3 times.
Oh, I know, poor Mr. Craig, but this time I really mean business.
And so do I, Your Majesty. This time you'll have to answer to our consulate.
Oh, they couldn't help me. You're the cheese expert. That's why I asked you to come. Here, taste that.
Thank you. I managed to get some food down before I was carried off.
Honestly, what kind of businessman are you? Don't you want to know about your opposition?
Simpson and Hedges cheddar has no opposition. The proteins in cheddar cheese have twice as much rennet, 3 times as little whey, and 4 times the amount of curd as any continental variety. And furthermore, I want to go home to bed.
After you've tasted this.
I think you should know I came not to buy cheese, but to sell it.
Taste it.
Could be Dutch, could be Gruyere.
It sneezes and it makes you tiddly.
Now, look, I've been very patient.
Take another bite.
I don't want to take another bite. I'm beginning to feel sick.
You ought to feel pretty good any minute now. One more little bite.
Frankly, I can't see the point in all this. And quite apart from anything else, it is not court etiquette for a princess to be alone with a commoner in his nightclothes.
Say that again?
I said it's not... I said it.
Now tell me you haven't got competition. 3 bites of sneeze and yippee!
I don't believe it.
Neither did I. Have some more.
This is fantastic.
I know. We're going to put it on the market. That's why I wanted your advice.
Do you realize what Simpson Hedges would give us for the recipe and rights of this?
I don't think you quite understand.
They'll probably make me a director.
Mr. Craig, nobody's getting the recipe or the rights.
They might even fire Mr. Shelby. You're a very clever little majesty, and I could kiss you for this.
And nobody's going to kiss anybody for anything.
Anybody
Maria!
that makes my fortune deserves to be kissed.
Ah, the coffee's here. White for me, Maria, and very black for Mr. Craig.
But you don't have the facilities here to put this on the world market. The first thing you have to have is trained men to travel around and place orders. Then when they've got those orders, they've got to report them back to the nerve centers. How are you going to be a nerve center with 1 telephone in the cobbler's shop?
Has anyone ever told you you have a most soothing voice, Mr. Craig?
Then when you get those orders, you have to dispatch them. How are you going to be able to deliver to London, Rome, Paris, and New York? By mule cart?
It is hereby agreed that in return for his services in helping the state of Lampedoor to market their product to the world, Mr. Anthony Craig is to have the exclusive rights of schnees throughout the British Isles.
And his clothes.
Oh, yes. Maria.
Why don't you take my advice? This thing's too big for you to handle alone. If you let Simpson and Hedges...
Mr. Anthony Craig, if these terms are not acceptable, you can be returned to the St. Maurice at once. Maria, I want you to send Julian to the St. Maurice Hotel and pick up Mr. Craig's belongings right away.
Julian's doing the potatoes.
Well, he'll have to do them tomorrow.
Yes, Lindy.
Yes, Lindy.
I have a royal charter to call the Princess Lindy.
Well, really?
I had to put it down in writing in case she got shot or something. Well, you wouldn't want everyone going around calling you princess, would you?
I should resent it strongly.
Well, all right then.
You know, the first time I saw you, I thought, I hope I see her again. Second time I saw you, I thought, I hope I never see her again. This is the third time I've seen you.
So?
I'd like a royal charter, please.
Oh, you're so funny. Maria, Mr. Craig will be staying the night. Do we have any place for him to sleep?
Well, there's always the jail. Louis and I could finish the prisoner's end.
There's a room at the end of the passage.
I think the jail would be quiet.
It's a box room.
Oh, fine. We'll fix it up right away. Do you mind, just for tonight?
Enchanted. I've always wanted to sleep in a box. Ever since I saw an Indian being lowered down...
Mr. Craig, please. All right, Maria. Now, where were we?
You were about to give me a royal charter.
No, I was about to say I don't have any idea.
Tell you what you do have.
No, I'm telling you what I don't have. I don't have the slightest idea how to start an export.
All right, then I'll retire to my mailbox and draw out a list of procedure. And first thing tomorrow morning, you go out onto your balcony and talk to the population.
I do. What do I say?
You tell them that from now on, nobody in Lampadora does anything else but make schnees until we have enough to export.
Will you write that down for me?
In block letters. Oh, there's one other thing.
Yes?
If I promise not to have you shot, do you think you could call me Tony?
You go write my balcony scene.
I forgot to warn you. Tomorrow morning, a strange man might come up and talk to you. Don't worry. It'll just be me, in a suit.
I'll look out for you. Good night.
Good night, Lindy. Boom, boom.
Oh, well, now.
The bells have stopped. They will expect you on the balcony now.
Golly, I'm scared.
What's there to be scared about?
Other people who made speeches from balconies didn't do so good, did they?
I didn't write their speeches.
Good morning. All I can say is I'd rather be down there with you than up here with me. I've got a speech all written out, but I can't read it. The last thing in the world I wanted to do was to come here and make you unhappy. But this little old country's in a terrible state for money. And we don't have any money until Mr. Johnson's lawyers come across. But until they do come across, Lampadora's just got to hang on. And I'm going to try and help you if you'll try and help me. But you can't just hang on by smuggling. That's why I stopped it. My father used to say you should always cut your throat according to your cloth. And that's why you can do better than smuggling. Why, you've got a wonderful cheese right here that can make you as rich and as famous as places like Roquefort or Camembert or Stilton.
Or cheddar.
And you don't know how lucky we are. We have a real cheese expert right here to help us. He's going to take the whole IOTUS on his shoulders. I want you to meet Mr. Tony Craig.
Long live the consort!
Thank you, and hello, citizens of Lampadora. Your princess is absolutely right. Schnees is wonderful, and with your help, we're going to try and market it to the world. But before we do that, we've got to see that Lampadora is an arsenal of schnees. We've got to make it and store it in the fields, in the streets, in the houses, and, if necessary, in the hills. Your chancellor has told me... He has told me that you've had another offer from the gambling syndicates to buy this beautiful country. Now, citizens, you've got to make up your minds. Do we battle it out until Mr. Johnson's money arrives, or do we let the syndicates in? Which is it to be? Schnees or roulette?
And so the Schnees invasion began. In Switzerland, Alberto and Julian did a roaring trade with their skating customers. By noon that day, the ice hockey crowds had stopped cheering the players and had a new chant.
We want Schnees! We want Schnees! We want Schnees!
By lunchtime, a few miles over the French border, the skiers had discovered that spread a little Schnees meant spread a little happiness. Some of them really made it a spread. And pretty soon they were taking leaps that in their wildest dreams they never thought they would make. They were right. In Italy, Lindy had explored the cycle market, and the Turismo clubs were cycling twice as far in half the time. Many of them just sat down and sang the Italian version of Sweet Adeline. Within a week, the messieurs were looking for Schnees on the highways, and the signores were queuing for it in the towns. Schnees had arrived, and so had a bombshell from England.
Is the princess out?
895, and 10 is 905, and 5 and 50 is 965, and 40 and 5 is 1,000.
Must you count aloud? That's the third time I've lost a decimal point, son.
How are you doing?
Magnificent. In 1 week, we've made 248,981 Italian lire.
327,000 French francs.
Now, Swiss francs will be 30,000.6 or 7 or maybe 5. Everybody keeps talking.
You've received some new orders?
Yes, but none that I think you'd be interested in. Where is the princess?
6.03 divided by 1/3. I find it impossible to work with all this noise. You have a go.
71, 72, 73, 74, 75.
Katokatega, 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 sanes lakai, katokatega, lina kaida, lina kaida, lina kaida. Oh, hello.
Oh, don't stop, please.
Well, somebody had to finish it sometime.
No, I meant the singing.
Oh, that's the old gray mare.
It sounded wonderful. I never heard it sung in Welsh before.
Welsh? I was singing it in Navajo.
Oh, golly whiz.
Oh, you.
How would this sound in Navajo?
What is it?
Heap bad news from Big Chief Storm in the face.
Honest to goodness. Isn't he satisfied with the English rights?
Well, as a matter of fact, I haven't told him yet.
Well, tell him, and it ought to make him feel pretty small sending you a cable like that.
Lindy, I wanted to help you get Schnees launched before I said my 2 little pieces. And, well, now Schnees is launched, and, well, here I go again. Little piece number 1. I've never worried you for the recipe. I still don't know it, and I don't want to know it unless you want me to. But don't you think you could reconsider selling the recipe to Simpson and Hedges?
Oh, Tony, you know I can't do that. It's all these people have between them and bankruptcy. What chance do you think they'd stand if your firm started to mass manufacture it? Aren't they going to be pleased with the English rights?
Oh, I doubt it now. Their own cheese is slumped.
I feel awful about this. You've done so much for me, and I've done so little for you.
Lindy Smith, you've done more for me than any girl I've ever met. Which brings me to my second little point.
Now, Tony, this is no time for the cozy talk.
I couldn't agree with you more.
Would it help if I gave you the British Commonwealth, too?
Right now, I wouldn't know what to do with it. May I ask you a leading question?
Oh, no, I've got a door to finish.
Oh, never mind about the door.
Honey, you can't go through life with a half-painted door.
Look, let me tell you how I'd like to go through life.
Sun is the sky, ka-do-ka-day-ga, ka-do-ka-day-ga, ka-do-ka-day-ga. Sun is the sky, ka-do-ka-day-ga, na-na-ga-ga.
3 cars just arrived.
What sort of cars?
Well, one has a French flag, one an Italian flag, and one has a Swiss flag.
Who are they?
Well, we don't know. They haven't been able to get out yet. The sheep are still coming in for milking.
Now, gentlemen.
I bring felicitations from the French government.
And the Italian government.
And the Swiss government. We have credentials to present to the head of state.
We are the government.
This is the Lord High Chancellor.
After great deliberation, my government regrets that it finds it necessary to inform you that there is to be a revision of our foodstuffs treaty of 1860. As from midnight tonight, Lampidoran cheese products will be subject to a protective tariff.
I don't understand.
We have been forced to protect our own manufacturers. The tax is not heavy. 450 lire per 40 per pound.
Pardon me, gentlemen. May I ask why this sudden duty on Lampidoran product?
It is merely a measure to protect our own cheese industry. Unfortunately, the present retail price of your cheese could eventually force much of ours off the market.
Then go home and make your own cheese better.
Mademoiselle, signorina, Fräulein.
I never heard of such a thing. Just because somebody does something better than you go running around slapping on taxes and things.
Just a minute, Linda. Your Majesty, let me handle this. Then since when has an agreement between two parties been entered by one party without the agreement of the other party who's party to the agreement?
Don't you have too many parties?
Well, anyway, we don't have to accept this revision.
We don't?
No.
Fine. So you can go right back and tell whoever you have to tell that while I'm head of this state, we don't pay a penny of your protective avoirdupois or whatever it is.
Sneeze? What in heaven's name sneeze? The recipe, a closely guarded secret of the families who make it, is said to contain schnapps and other ingredients that analysts have been unable to name.
Sir?
What sort of poppycock is this?
Well, I'm afraid I don't know, sir.
Of course you don't. Neither do I. Put through a personal call to Mr. Craig in Switzerland.
Yes, sir. Where will I find him, sir?
Well, that's his hotel, of course.
Yes, of course, sir. Which hotel, sir?
Well, I might as well be doing the thing myself.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir.
And don't spit down my neck. Come round here. You know where Mr. Craig is staying?
Unfortunately, sir, I don't even know Mr. Craig.
Well, ask Mr. Greaves. He'll know.
Yes, sir.
No, not out there, in here. No, I do the thing myself. Said to contain schnapps and other ingredients. Hello, Craig. What? Craig. But what's his number?
Oh, that's what you were going to find out, sir.
No, Mr. Greaves' number.
Mr. Greaves.
You do talk a lot of nonsense.
Hello? Oh. Hello? Yes, this is Mr. Craig. Right.
Hello, Craig?
Yes, sir. This is a pleasant surprise, I hope.
We've been searching Europe for you. Where in heaven's name are you?
Well, at the moment, I'm in the cobbler's shop.
You're where?
I'm in Lampidoran. I've been working very hard for Simpson and Hedges, sir. It's this new schneeze. I've done a great deal for you.
You've lost a great deal for us, too. Continental cheese sales are the lowest in 50 years. What are you up to? Listen to that. Modern invention. You would think I was phoning Europe or somewhere.
You are, sir.
Oh. Hello!
Hello.
Hello, are you there?
Oh, yes, sir. I was saying about this new schneeze. I've got you the exclusive rights for the British Commonwealth.
But what's this stuff got that our cheddar hasn't? Makes you what? Can you believe that?
I didn't hear it, sir.
But how's it made? But it's your business to know.
Yes, sir, but I'm afraid it's not as easy as that. You see, this state's run by a princess.
A what?
A princess, sir. And she's passed a law... Hello?
Hello. Hello. And they're supposed to be living in the 20th century. Give me a drink. Now, come on.
Hello.
What?
The noise has stopped, sir.
Oh. Good. Now, look here, Craig. I've had about enough of your hot air.
It's static, sir. I was saying, I'm in a country where it's life imprisonment for anyone who gives out the recipe for
Get me a cable for him.
What's happening?
The bells are calling the people to the town hall.
What for?
Must be the princess.
But, Princess, the people are coming as you ordered. Mayn't we know why?
We're paying no taxes.
No, of course not.
And we're paying no subsidies.
Right.
Has anything happened?
Not yet, but it's about to.
What is it, a revolution?
Tony, you've got work to do. You were a captain in the British Army.
Yes.
So you know all about invasion.
Well, not all. Eisenhower didn't tell me everything.
You're going to plan a simultaneous invasion of France, Italy, and Switzerland.
I'm going to be busy.
The people are all gathered.
Fine. You fellas better get a load of this, too. Citizens, I've got news for you. Yesterday, 3 gentlemen drove here and informed us that because our schneeze was so good, they were going to stick a tax on it. But don't let it throw you. If they don't play fair, we don't play fair. That's only fair. Therefore, I proclaim this to be total war. Not one schneeze is to be taken through the Swiss, French, or Italian frontier posts. From now on, citizens, schneeze will be smuggled.
Now, this whole operation is going to be a 3-pronged pincer movement on 3 frontiers, just like we did in Normandy. At least, that's what I think we did in Normandy. Now, I want every available vehicle we have loaded with schneezes, ready to be sent up to the frontier under cover of darkness. Now, 0 hour will be midnight. I want you to set your watches by mine. The time is exactly 14 hours, 28 minutes. Now, I'm not going to presume to tell you how to smuggle a schneeze or even where to smuggle it. You know that better than I do. I simply say this to you. Get in touch with your agents over the border and tell them by dawn tomorrow we want enough schneeze in Italy, France, and Switzerland to last them for a week. Well, that's all for now, so good luck and good smuggling.
How come you're so clever at everything?
When I was a little boy, I cleaned my teeth night and morning, always ate my porridge, and never put more than 1 frog in my teacher's desk at a time.
I was a terrible child, too. Isn't that beautiful? You know, my dad and I once saved up to buy a plot of land back home. It was half an acre. For 2 weeks, I couldn't sleep wondering what to do with all that land. Now I got mountains.
Do you want any help?
You've done enough already. Did I ever remember to thank you?
Lindy, when we were standing on the balcony, somebody in the crowd shouted out, "Long live the consort." You didn't bat an eyelid.
Should I have batted?
I'd like to be a consort.
You would? What's a consort?
Well, the dictionary says that a consort is the partner or companion or husband of a queen regnant.
Why, Tony Craig, you're proposing.
I know I'm not very much, but I'm all I have.
I think you're just about the nicest. What sort of queen?
A queen regnant. That's the Latin for ruling.
It is? Well, get me being proposed to in Latin.
I'd settle for an answer in English.
Aw, Tony, you're sweet, and I think I love you. But are you sure I'm what you want? I can be awfully ornery at times.
So can I. If the coffee's cold, I smash the pot, and as for burnt toast,
Oh, but I always burn toast.
I was going to say I love it.
I love it, too.
You do?
Give me some more of that cozy talk. You want me?
Linda, you must believe me. I didn't know what was in that cable when I saw...
We ought to be moving off. The Chancellor says it'll take a good half-hour to reach the frontiers.
We'll ring the bells for the starting signal. Alberto, Julian! Tell all sections to stand by. The chapel bells will give them the signal for the off. You look after the bells.
You give the word?
I'll give the word.
Thank you, Captain.
Stand by for the bells! The chapel bells are the signal!
It's a fine, fine night. All that's red in the sky is to tell you and I. Tomorrow the sun will be shining on high. It's a fine, fine moon. With a haziest spring, meaning each little thing is just about ready to break into spring. Cool, nice breezes are blowing. The grass just right to start growing. As nature's manner of showing that everything's just about turning out right. It's a fine, fine night. Fine night tonight. It's a fine, fine night. All that red in the sky is to tell you and I. Tomorrow the sun will be shining on high. It's a fine, fine moon with a haziest spring, meaning each little thing is just about ready to break into spring. Oh, night breezes are blowing, grass just right to start mowing, as nature's manner of showing that everything's just about turning out right. It's a fine, fine night. It's a fine, fine night. Sneeze. Sneeze.
By dawn, they had smuggled 14,023 sneezes across 3 frontiers. The first night's battle had gone well. Every French and Swiss bistro within a 30-mile radius of the Lampedoran border had received its quota of schnees. By noon next day, there was chaos in the French Senate, chaos in the Italian Forum, and even a little quiet chaos in the Swiss Federal Palace. As for Lampedora,
our sneezes started pendulum all over Europe. Everybody's in a flap, and well, they should be. But it's no good just sitting down on our laurels. We gotta take those little old doraberries and stick them in everything. And when they get tired of sneeze, I got something else for them. We're gonna make Lampedoran sheep's milk schnocklet. Citizens, we're gonna be loaded.
Do you want to know something? I think you're wonderful.
You can say that from now on, and you still don't get the recipe.
Princess, the berries have all gone.
What berries?
The holly berries. This is all there is left. The trees are bare. We made so much sneeze, there isn't a holly berry left in the country.
Are you sure? Oh, but this is awful. Will they grow again?
Next year.
Next year, but what'll we do in the meantime?
We don't make sneeze.
Not now, Pedro. Lindy's got problems. Does Mr. Craig know?
We were on our way back.
Lend me your horse. Horse?
Mule.
Do you ride them the same as a horse?
Sometimes.
Oh, dear, I hope this is one of the times. Oh, oh dear, come on, mule, good mule. Hey, will somebody stop me? There's no more berries.
There's no more what?
No more holly berries, not till next year. We can't make any more seasons.
Smith, Lampedora. Probate granted. $100,000 in National Bank of Switzerland. Shyster and McNabb.
There it is. You've got your money, $100,000.
Good heavens above, Julie. You spoke. You can talk. You can talk. Why have you never talked before?
Never had nothing to talk about before.
well, Lindy gave her heart back to Tony and Lampedora back to the citizens. No longer a bankrupt state, they were now the only country in Europe who could marshal their own aid, thanks to the consort and the penny princess.